Good evening, I'm Louise Hartland. Joe Perkins is off tonight. We begin with a warning to be vigilant of your surroundings after another disturbing robbery. Victoria police are investigating after two young women were robbed at knife point late yesterday afternoon. And the department is worried. The robbery is very similar to one last week involving two 11-year-old girls near Hillside Centre. Vic PD says the 19 and 22-year-old women were in the 400 block of Burnside Road after leaving Mayfair Shopping Centre when they were approached by someone asking for the time. One of the victims took out her phone to check, and the suspect pulled a large knife on her, demanding cash and the phone. The robbery was interrupted when a bus pulled up, but the female suspect did get away with some makeup, rings, and cash. Detectives are very concerned this incident could be related to one last week by Hillside Centre.
Certainly seeing similarities here. We believe that they could be related, and the descriptions of the girl and both the suspect are very similar. For a simple thing like asking for the time is starting to turn into a place where you can be robbed of your iPhone and other items.
Last week, two 11-year-old girls had their cell phones and backpacks stolen on North Derry after leaving the mall. The suspect in this robbery is described as a slim 22-year-old woman, about 5'3", with blonde hair and blue streaks underneath. She had a silver stud on her nose and blue or green eyes. If you have any information, you're asked to call Vic PD or Crime Stoppers. Police are also warning people to be extra vigilant with handheld electronic devices. A 70-year-old Nanaimo man is dead after he was struck by a car near Nanaimo Regional General Hospital last night. RCMP say he was hit around 5:30 when he was trying to cross Dufferin Crescent, and he was not in a crosswalk. An 80-year-old woman was driving the car. Charges are not expected to be laid. A female flag person is recovering at home today after Saanich police say she was struck by a drunk driver this morning. It happened in the 3300 block of Douglas Street just after 5. Luckily, the flag person was wearing a helmet, but she was taken to hospital over concern she may have a head injury. Police say the driver was 3 times the legal limit.
The limit of course, 0.08, he blew 240, so 0.24. So 3 times exactly the limit, 2 blows. So he was arrested at the scene following his breathalyzer readings. He was lodged in cells where he sobered up for a majority of the day.
The 28-year-old suspect is charged with impaired driving and driving with a blood alcohol limit over 0.08. The man was held in custody until he sobered up and released earlier today. Families who have lost a loved one to an impaired driver rallied on the Lower Mainland today, sending a message to lawmakers to toughen up on penalties. 1,074 pairs of shoes line the steps at Surrey Provincial Court. Each pair of shoes represents a life taken by a drunk driver in Canada in 2011. Families of the victims say they want drivers to be aware of the potential consequences if they get behind the wheel after having a few drinks.
A pile at the front, and that represents the 63,000 people that were injured last year, just in 2011, by impaired driving. And people just don't seem to still be getting the message. You think, if you look at these shoes, that every one of these deaths was preventable.
The demonstrators say their message is especially important this time of year with people going out for festive get-togethers. Well, in just over 48 hours, the polls will be closing and Victoria will be sending a new MP to Ottawa. Today, the candidates were out door-knocking, handshaking, and cold-calling for the final push. Green Party candidate Donald Galloway was getting a lot of attention on the corner of Oak Bay Avenue and Foul Bay Road with party leader Elizabeth May. Many polls show Galloway is gaining ground on NDP frontrunner Murray Rankin. Galloway is confident Victoria will send the second Green MP to Parliament Hill on Monday, stealing the seat from the NDP.
We are, if not in the lead, close to the lead, because I think we're getting so much popular support. People are expressing their enthusiasm. They are really happy. They're really excited about Monday. We're going to get a lot of voters out.
Denise Savoy was such an amazing member of Parliament. A lot of people really respect the work she's done, and so the old cliche about big shoes to fill is actually really much on my mind as I go around door to door.
Today, Murray Rankin was going door to door with NDP MLA Carol James, asking people in James Bay for their support. Liberal Paul Somerville also had some support from fellow party members, including Montreal MP and former astronaut Marc Garneau, who joined Somerville on the corner of Pandora and Cook.
Marc Garneau's coming in today, Carolyn Bennett, to help us knock on thousands of doors and make thousands of phone calls. We're in the passing lane. Our campaign has made the sewage treatment plant the key issue. The by-election is not going to change the Prime Minister or Parliament. This is a referendum on the billion-dollar boondoggle.
The debate over sewage treatment has been the key issue in the by-election. We tried to catch up with Conservative candidate Dale Gann today, but his campaign manager told us he was not making himself available to the media. And hundreds of voters in View Royal were out today having their say on whether the municipality should build a new fire hall. Polls are open from 8 to 8 at View Royal and Eagle View Elementary Schools. Taxpayers will have their say on whether the municipality should borrow nearly $5.5 million to build the new hall.
You know, it's nice to have a big fancy fire hall for the next 50 years, but I won't be around to enjoy it, so.
On Thursday, firefighters called the West Shore RCMP after more than 50 vote yes for a new fire hall signs disappeared or were vandalized. The referendum results will be posted on the Town of View Royal website at viewroyal.ca. We will have more on this story tomorrow night on CTV News at 6. The Victoria Hospice kicked off its Celebrate a Life campaign today, offering people in the community a unique way to remember loved ones during the holiday season. People in the community are invited to write a special message in a memorial book in memory of a loved one or on a tribute ornament that can be hung on a tree. The hospice recognizes the holidays can be a tough time of year if you're dealing with the loss of a loved one.
Victoria Hospice is in its 27th year for Celebrate a Life, which is a unique way that people can remember loved ones that have passed away. And this year we've partnered with the English Inn and a whole bunch of other organizations to do a kickoff for Celebrate a Life, offering activities, games, and crafts, food, tons of stuff going on here.
Celebrate a Life is an annual tradition. This is the 27th year, and you can find the display at Hillside Centre December 1st until December 12th.
Yeah.
Well, with just a month until Christmas, people in downtown Victoria are getting into the spirit and taking advantage of a holiday attraction while it lasts in Centennial Square. By all accounts, it's working. There has been a long line for the wheel all day today, and we've heard reports some people had to be turned away last night. The wheel is open until 10 tonight, and your last chance to hop on will be tomorrow between noon and 8.